July 9th of 2026, everybody. What the hell is going on already? For time to just be going so damn fast. Anyway, this is your host Isaiah Peters, and for those who know about the Great Sorgia, you may be aware that I'm also writing Great Sorgia Dawn, which is essentially a series reboot. Same premise, same basic premise, 12 kingdoms that comprise this massive world that are at war with each other, and it's been going on for nearly 2 whole centuries. So, what exactly are some notable changes? Well, for those who may have kept up with the Great Sorgia, you may know that certain characters are deceased by the beginning. Here in the reboot, those certain characters are actually alive and well, with the main recurring ones. That's just one notable difference from the original. So, I'm excited. I'm not going to keep this introduction too long. I'm going to just jump straight into it for YouTube. And also be aware that I'm going to have to, because it's YouTube, I'm going to have to kind of lower the explicit parts about the story, which is bullshit for me, but hey, it is what it is. The explicit version, where I read it directly how I wrote it, will be on Spotify, so be ready for that. Anyway, let's jump right in. Chapter 1, opening with the general, prologue. There we go. Great Sorgia Dawn, March 1st of A682. Within the vast warrior-centered world of Sorgia that thrive 12 distinct yet warring kingdoms that made up the massive world: Roveria, Shamaria, Navoria, Pisindia, Detoria, Bortamia, Magoria, Inzoria, Lunaria, Juveria, Buceria, and last but not least, Tesseria. Unfortunately, as history came to show for the people of this world, humanity had lost its sense of fighting each other for a friendly sport, and had since become more concerned with battling each other for conquest, military expansion, resources, wealth, and sometimes even for revenge for a foul deed committed in the past. This would eventually bring about the start of the Great Sorgian War, which had ravaged Sorgia since the year A497. And with the kingdom of Roveria under the brutal control of Benjamin Dur, a very powerful man who became the Urge of the kingdom in the year A660, Sorgia only continued to see even more chaotic and ruthlessly dark bloodshed as he used his power and resources to gain large, countless victories for Roveria, while also bringing Sorgia into what many would say is easily the worst era of the conflict. So now, that pretty much takes care of the prologue. Like I said, I'm going to have to be a little toned down on this. And you know what? I'm going to just be compliant. And let's just get on with the story. So, on that day of March 1st of A682, there lived a young man within Roveria's small forest city known as Dorsberg, quietly training in his backyard shortly after waking up in his bedroom from an intense dream. This young man had rich, dark skin and wore yellow and beige nightly clothes. His afro was small, and his soft, mellow eyes were a nice green color. And his name was Amare Swo, and he was also the son of the infamous General James Swo, one of Benjamin Dur's most powerful warriors, and actually the Roverian Urja's most powerful and strongest warrior in the Roverian military ever. To Amari, James was his hero, and the young Swo thus decided to enlist himself into the army to prove his might to his father. And even if he didn't want to fight, he certainly would have anyway, because at this point, Roverians were being drafted left and right to fight for Benjamin Dur or face severe punishment. Yes, my audience, this is basically what it would be like if you was living in Roveria during this point under a brutal regime. Yes, that is where we are in the story. So eventually, Amari placed his spear down, took a deep breath, and sat down on a nearby log. As he reflected on his recent choice to fight for his kingdom, he heard soft, steady footsteps, and they were getting louder and louder. Another thing, my audience, there may be times I get kind of nervous and stutter. So to combat that, I'm going to improvise. So it may not exactly reflect how I wrote the story. So bear in mind in certain instances where that does happen. Just then, he was approached by a young woman wearing pink and blue clothes with long curly brown hair. Her soft, adorable eyes locked with Amare's as she studied him quietly before she sighed sadly. Her name? Sejani Orm, and she was Amare's childhood friend. Good morning, Amare, Sejani said with her soft and squeaky voice. Are you okay? Hey, Sejani. Amare shook hands for her. Why wouldn't I be? Are you? Sejani looked down to the ground briefly. You are aware that the war is causing, great levels of harm, right? Don't worry, Sejani. This war will come to an end soon, especially with my father leading us to victory after victory, Amari said proudly. Well, while you have a hopefully free day, let us go and hang with our friends. She tried to sound optimistic. Maybe we can eat at the Sword King's Tavern. I heard that Naomi would be on her way to the place with Songaa and Ronald. Yeah, I would like that very much, Amari beat his chest. You know, there is also talk that foreigners are coming to Dorsburg today. Foreigners? From what kingdom? Amari looked at Sejani with sudden worry. Peace India. According to various people, these people are from the Seo clan of Mount Tahoshi. Sejani replied with mild wonder in her tone. Do you think they would start a war right here in our city? If they do, me, father, and many others here will stop them. Amari beat his knuckles together. The Seo clan are mostly samurai, right? Big deal. You are aware that the Seo are very skilled warriors, right? Sejani continued, but now with urgency. I mean, yeah, that one samurai dude, what's his name? Hayato Seo? Yeah, he's old now. He'll be a total cakewalk. If you say so, Amari. There you two are, said a young woman with long and straight violet hair, a black and gray tabard, black combat shorts, and a pair of black boots, as she hastily approached Amari and Sejani. Are you two also gonna come or what? She playfully swayed her hips at the two. Girl, let's go already. Her name, Naomi Pill. Hi, Naomi, Sejani said with a bit more ease as she waved at her. Did y'all hear about them? Naomi's voice was full of excitement. We are having guests here today. As a matter of fact, I already spotted one of the foreigners just minutes ago. You mean those Seo clan people? Amari asked. Yeah, that was supposed to be a question. Excuse me, guys. Anyway, Naomi smacked her lips. Yeah, homeboy. Whoa, this is becoming serious, eh? Amari had to look away for a brief moment as he wondered what the Seo people would be like. Oh my god, Sejani, one of them is so cute. Naomi held Sejani's hands. He has this long white hair, dressed in this mostly black ninja look. And girl, his eyes are so fucking pretty. At this, Sejani giggled and continued. Naomi, you know they are from an enemy kingdom. Don't be so loud. Naomi casually flexed her hair and sighed. You're right. God, this war needs to end. People can't even have fun. She crossed her arms as she huffed and puffed. Listen, we should remain sharp at all times, Naomi, Amari spoke. Whatever, soldier. Naomi rolled her eyes. Amari, said the young Swo's mother, Ashanti Swo, wearing an elaborate red dress, a gold belt, and gold boots with brown accents while carrying Amari's baby brother, Tedros Swo. Her long, dark brown dreadlocks and calm eyes were captivating to many. Oh, hi, Sejani and Naomi. How are you young ladies today? Hi, Miss Swo, Naomi replied as she went and gave her a warm hug. Are we still going to keep training? Oh, of course, dear. Ashanti nodded her head before Naomi then ran to the door of the backyard upon seeing 3 men walking cautiously toward them. One of them was an elderly samurai warrior wearing mostly muted colors with short gray hair. The other 2 accompanying him were both young men, one being the one Naomi described, but was also wearing a green and teal sash and had a braid on the right side of his face. The other one was a man dressed in very bright colors, mixed with mainly orange, which had a mixture of a samurai and jester aesthetic, complete with bells and a straw hat. The elderly man cleared his throat upon reaching the door and calmly opened said door slowly. With a respectful bow from Ashanti, the elderly samurai, Hayato Seo, then took a seat while the samurai jester, Takashi Seo, merrily stood beside him. As for the other one, the young ninja Haruki Seo, he also stood beside Hayato and suddenly started playing a flute. Good morning, wife of General James Swo, Hayato spoke with a steady tone. I am Hayato Seo, head of the Seo clan of Sarai and Ninja from Pisinius Mount Tohoshi. Good morning, Lord Hayato. My name is Ashanti Swo. She then offered him a cup of coffee. Would you like to have a drink, sir? Thank you, Miss Swo. Hayato, still cautious, received the cup and toasted her before taking a sip of the beverage, only to find it was delicious. Wonderful. He gave her a composed smile. You are welcome, sir, Ashanti smiled back. These two with me are my grandsons, Takashi and Haruki. Hayato proudly introduced them. Hello, everyone, Haruki said with a very cautious yet polite tone. As for Takashi, Konnichiwa, Takashi shouted happily. Nice to meet you all. Ha 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 ha. Hayato laughed quietly, while Haruki merely sighed. Hi, Takashi, Naomi eagerly high-fived him. Heh heh, you and your brother are, She immediately blushed before the jester. You and your brother are cute. Ah ha ha ha! Thank you, kind girl. Takashi shook hands with her. And you're apparently very sweet and kind. Watashi no ani wa hotoni atama gao kashi, Haruki said under his breath. To which Hayato reassured Haruki gently as he smiled at him. So, there you fucking foreign-ass people are, said James Swo, a man wearing a black bandana, heavy red and black clothes, with a rather open and even heavier jacket, black armored pants, and boots. I, General James Swo, shall now speak with you damn Peace Indians. He immediately walked past Ashanti while slapping her butt before he immediately stood before Hayato with his arms crossed. So, what's up, sir, my homie? You gonna just stand there like a scared punk? Takashi and especially Haruki immediately tensed up, with the ninja even slowly reaching for his sword that was strapped securely to his back. And if either of you dare to make a move, be my guest because someone will be hurt. Viciously hurt. James swiftly turned toward the young Peace Indians. Sir, you are mistaken to believe that me and my family will be intimidated by you, Hayato said firmly. Furthermore, I shall not stand for the disrespect you are presenting us with. The elderly samurai then stood up from his seat. Lower your swords, my grandchildren. Reluctantly, Haruki and Takashi lowered their swords. We are not here for battle, General. We are here to negotiate for peace between your kingdom and ours, Hayato continued. Is that true? James gave him a sly, cold grin. In my household, physical prowess is very important. James then pulled out his massive gold sword. How about I test your old ass in battle, mister? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Takashi quickly stepped between Hayato and James while Ashanti grabbed James by his left arm. There's no need to fight. Isn't that right, brother? The jester looked at Haruki with a bit of fear, knowing James' reputation. Haruki stared at James with immediate contempt and thought to himself, so, he's the feared General James Swo, a serious cancer among men. Let me fight in this test, father, Amare said eagerly with his spear raised. How about I face that cool ninja dude over there? Excuse me? Haruki was mildly perplexed. Yes, you. Fight me. Right now. Amare twirled his spear about. Haruki suffers from the force. It would not be fair to have him, a physically frail and vulnerable person, stand against warriors like you, young one. Hayato remains calm. He looks like he can handle himself quite well, Amare said before he then looked at Takashi. For a more fair challenge, let me fight the jester then. Oh, good gravy, Takashi facepalmed. I'll fight you, but be warned. I am not going to make this easy for you because you're younger. What's your name? Amare Swo, the young Swo said with passion. I see. Well then, Takashi raised his katana. Sa, Amare Swo, Yukana, Senshi Tu Shi Tatako. I don't know what he said, but that sounds so cool given they're about to fight, Naomi watched excitedly. Girl, she looked at Sejani with intrigue. Do you think Amare will win? I hope so, Naomi. Sejani clasped her hands together as she watched Amare stand before the jester. Good luck, Amare. I don't need luck, my cutie pie. Amare shot Sejani a quick, confident smile before returning his attention to Takashi. So, are you ready? Hi. The jester bowed, and then after Naomi counted down 5 seconds, the young Swo and samurai immediately started fighting with immediate resolution and eagerness. To which Takashi shouted, "Kafun!" "Yo, Amare," James called out sharply. "You better beat his ass or I'm fucking your ass up myself." "Got it, father." Amare threw rapid punches at Takashi, who parried repeatedly with well-timed punches of his own. Excuse me. Takashi parried repeatedly with well-timed punches of his own, mixed with rapid-fire theatrical kicks. "He's good," Hayato said quietly to himself. "Young, but skilled." "See, Sejani? I am not afraid at all." Amare then jumped and kicked Takashi. But, to his surprise, Takashi happily darted toward the young Swo suddenly and knocked Amare down with little effort before pointing the tip of his katana at his neck. "You have lost this match." Takashi then helped Amare up and dusted him off. "Though short-lived, that was a fun battle, Amare. Be sure to train hard, and I'm sure you will be a great warrior, too." James cursed angrily under his breath, while Ashanti smiled calmly at the jester. "I suppose we should leave and just come back later." Hayato sighed. "Let us go, my grandsons. Thank you for the coffee, Miss Swo." He bowed to her. Without saying anything else, the Seo warriors then took their leave. Fuck this." James shook his head. "Yo." He took Ashanti by her chin and gave her a brief, passionate kiss. "Let us go, bae. I need your tenderness right now." To which Naomi, watching the interaction between James and Ashanti, thought to herself, "A little respect will not kill anyone, asshole." She then glared at James while making sure he didn't notice. "Anyway, I better go and see if Minerva is ready to come with us to Sword King's." She started making her way to the door. "Bye!" Then she left as well, just as James took Ashanti back into the Swo's house just a minute later. Amare and Sejani awkwardly listening to the intense rocking sounds of the bed his parents shared as Ashanti quietly moaned James' name, prompting James to excitedly satisfy her even greater, leaving the young ones visibly disturbed. "Perhaps we should go and see Minerva, like right now," Sejani said after hearing James and Ashanti grunting and moaning rather aggressively. "I'm sure she would like to have some friends with her right now." "Agreed," Amare nodded his head. So, when Amare and Sejani reached a green and white house about 20 minutes later, they were met by a man wearing red and gold knightly armor with dark hair and a curly mustache. Speaking with the man was a woman wearing a bright pink and red dress. They were Kevin Ritt and Elaine Ritt, respectively, and these nobles were the parents of Minerva Ritt, a young woman with long, elegant black hair of a green tint, put into a beautifully curly ponytail of bangs, soft amber eyes, a short and petite yet curvaceous build, and wore mainly pink and teal clothes, who was not too far from her parents, quietly letting Naomi speak excitedly about the meeting with the Seo clan. "Like, homegirl, they are all just so chill. I'm low-key scared of them. For real, for real." Naomi laughed loudly, while Minerva laughed softly. "Naomi, you, of all people, felt scared?" Minerva gently held Naomi's left hand. "You're usually much braver than that," she continued with her soft, demure, and sweet voice. "I am," Naomi said quickly. "And with Amare's crazy-ass father, I felt even more scared. Then again, who wouldn't feel intimidated by the general?" "Tokala, perhaps?" Minerva replied before she then looked at the sky for a quick moment and thought, "Tokala, sweetie, please be all right out there." Then she continued, "Him, Songaa, and Ronald are all particularly brave men. And you are so lucky to have Tokala, Minerva. He is so strong and fearless. I mean, who else can actually fight people like James and look cool doing it while leading a gang?" "And you're lucky to have Songaa, my energetic friend," Minerva gently replied. "He may be very fiery and explosive, but you got someone who would, as you may happily put it, beat the bricks off anyone who tries to harm you." "Facts, girl," Naomi smiled. "And yet, Songaa is even my man. At least you have a man, and I'm so happy for you and Tokala." She gave Minerva a solemn look just then. "You two are both so caring." She brightened up quickly, but Minerva saw something else in her eyes. "Your time will come, Naomi. You're friendly, beautiful, and charming," she said reassuringly. "Aw, thank you. You're also very beautiful And frankly, you need to be more confident in yourself too. You don't even wear makeup for him. Minerva immediately giggled. Because I don't really need to. Then she took notice of Amare and Sejani coming her way. Hi, you two, she waved at them. Hey, Minerva, Amare replied. Are you all ready to go to Sorking's? Sure, Minerva dusted herself off. So, the Seo clan proved strong, huh? A certain member defeated you and encouraged you to train harder? Yeah, Minerva, listen. That jester dude was swift and humbled me, like, quick. Amari was excited beyond belief. I thought the guy was just a very relaxed and not very serious man. Nuh-uh, he wasn't. Oh, Amari, Minerva laughed gently. Well, I am just glad you weren't hurt. And he sounds like a very nice guy, according to Naomi here. He kinda is, Sejani added. He even tried to calm that situation, when things got heated. Be back within 2 hours, Minerva, Kevin said as the young group started taking their leave for the tavern. Okay, father, Minerva answered. But then she thought, I never should have run from home. So, when they finally got to the Sword King's Tavern, the Sword King's Tavern in particular wasn't too far, and when they arrived at the front of the establishment, they found two tribal warriors sparring with one another with sheer intensity. One of them had long, reddish-black dreadlocks, wore a black beanie hat with a green gem in the center, and wore dark orange and red clothes, complete with tribal jewelry. His name was Tokala's son. The other was shirtless, wore a scorpion and eagle tattoo proudly on his chest, and wore dark pants and boots with some tribal beads wrapped around his muscular body. His name was Songaa. Both young men were from the Zarju tribe, and they were also known for wearing feathers that symbolized not just rank within their group, but also their style. Tokala wore some in his hair, but more around his neck, whereas Songaa wore two large ones on his black wild hair, supported by a headband. Hi, Tokala, Minerva happily called out. Tokala, fighting Songaa as if he was dancing while also throwing heavy punches and kicks, shot Minerva a warm grin before Songaa came at him with a more upfront and aggressive series of punches and roundhouse kicks. Minerva quickly gasped as she covered her mouth in awe as the two tribesmen fought fiercely. You're good, gang, Songaa said to Tokala with a firm yet happy look in his gold eyes. Heh, you too, bro, Tokala gave Songaa a respectful nod. You're no pushover, I'll give you that. Since when have I ever been one? Tokala remained relaxed despite the intensity of their battle, as plenty of the spectators both in and out Sword Kings cheered loudly. These people wanted to fight just like you, Songaa. I hope you're happy now. Just thought you could use a little training, homie, Songaa continued. And I thank you, brother man. Tokala then suddenly stopped fighting, bowed to Songaa, and then shook hands with him. I'm done fighting your ass for the morning. Ha ha ha. He then pulled out some greenery wrapped in yellow paper, lit it, and immediately started smoking while Songaa simultaneously received a drink from a witnessing spectator and joyfully started drinking. What up, little sweetie? Tokala greeted Minerva as she approached him. You good? I am now that I'm with you again. Minerva gave him a warm, affectionate hug before she allowed him to continue smoking. You are such a pothead, but you're my pothead. Oh, shut up, Tokala blushed. Hey, gang. He nodded his head at Amare, Sejani, and Naomi. Y'all so good, right? Hell yeah, brother, Naomi dapped him. He's so cool and low-key sexy, she thought. Oh, Minerva, Naomi continued her thoughts. My lucky friend. And how are you? Minerva looked from Tokala to Songaa. I hope you two are not having problems with each other. You guys fought as if there was some serious beef. Low-key, but it's okay now, Songaa smiled. Facts, Tokala grinned. My dude Songaa needs to stop fighting for Benjamin. And you need to stop getting yourself into deep shit. I should have let the death sting us myself because at this rate, you're gonna die if I don't help you train. Songaa then dapped Tokala with a brotherly glare, mixed with a smile. Y'all two are so cool, Amare stepped between the two Zarju warriors. Anyway, Tokala, Songaa's right. I mean, fighting against Ursha Benjamin will get you killed one day. Little bro, I do not fear your lord. Tokala then took another pull of his weed. Last night, I already had a serious argument with your friend Ronald Gurr, which sadly turned violent. Well, at least you got to test yourself in battle against someone like Ronald, the young Swo said casually. Oh, you're such an innocent summer child, Amare. Tokala laughed quietly. Anyway, I'd rather not talk further about this shit. Hello! Takashi suddenly stepped forward. You two are amazing, he shouted before he then introduced himself. Takashi Seo, eh? Takala smiled. Sup, man? Takala Sum's the name. He then introduced Songaa to the samurai jester. Nani? I had no idea I ran into you again, son of General James. Takashi gave Amare a very wide grin. And I assume you are all friends. Who'd like to know? Songaa asked. You're with those foreigners coming around here, right? Takashi's face reddened slightly. Well, you could say that. So, why are you here? Songaa pressed him. You wish to fight or something? Oh my god. I have no I have no ill intent, sir. Takashi immediately stiffened his voice a little bit. I'm here for peace, really. Ease up on him, Songaa. Naomi moved him gently away from Takashi. He's actually cool. Naomi, no offense to the new guy, but even Tokala and I are barely trusted. I understand he's from an enemy kingdom, but I can sense the good in him, Naomi argued. It's okay, purple-haired one, Takashi smiled again. I'll just excuse myself. Wait. No sweat, Naomi. Grandfather and brother are probably wondering where I am anyway, so I better come back to them. Takashi started taking his leave. Plus, a foreign enemy on a mission such as me has no business chatting with you. Ta-ta! And just like that, Takashi disappeared quietly into the crowd. Damn it, Songaa. Naomi sucked her teeth. Seriously, this war is fucking people's lives up. Sorry, but it is what it is, Songaa replied with little remorse. Anyway, Tokala bro, I gotta go now. Y'all better start heading home yourselves. I spotted some mysterious-ass robed men and women dressed in very dark colors, mostly black and dark blue, chanting some shit about darkness and death. You mean the Direxes? Sejani asked. Mother had always told me stories about them and how people should avoid them. They are clearly not normal religious people. Preach, girl. Naomi nodded her head, snapping her fingers. How many did you see, Songaa? Minerva timidly looked around. Not to fuck with ya, but I saw around 10 to 15 of them walking around all around the city. Songaa answered with mild concern. Tokala, he looked at his friend with a very sharp look. If you see any of them, just stay away, my dude. And likewise, bro. Tokala gently held Minerva's left hand. Let me bring you home, mate. He gave her a relaxed yet concerned gaze. Okay, Minerva replied. Yo, Naomi and the rest. Tokala surveyed the area in which they stood. Y'all better stay by me too. Right, they all sat in perfect sync, and soon after, everyone quietly left. And so, this wraps up episode 1, and by extension, chapter 1. I will see you all in the next episode, and God bless everybody.